Can't make this stuff up.
You really can't, right? Hello, everybody, and welcome. And I hope everybody's having a great weekend so far. And today we're going to be discussing some really deep, get into some discussions about parallel universes and some stargates and tie it into, Raven Starseed Awakening and even my guest Ryan's today as well. And I am so grateful and very beyond excited to have my guest here today that's joining me on this topic because it's very personal to us, and also too it's just very special. And if we could literally help anybody out there that might have some questions, and maybe we could assist with some answers and things, and we'll tap into some oracle with the dragons. And also too, Ryan's also got some very beautiful angel cards as well. So with that, I'm going to introduce my guest and welcome, and let him introduce himself as well. And I just want to say thank you so very much for being here at this time. And how would and introduce yourself to the lovely audience.
Cool. Yeah. I give all reverence and gratitude and energy to the creator of all, because I've come to learn that nothing is by my own means. It's synchronicity from a higher force. It's not even me. I'm just a character in the cinema. Rayon, I'm just a character. Raven, just a character of all characters. And right. I'm grateful to be able to see the progression of that character. So, yeah. I guess a little bit about me. First off, I don't really do this often. Very rarely. I have Instagram, but I never go live. I never speak about myself. So it's
right.
a little different.
It's a little different, right? It's a little different. Yeah. So whatever you feel that you want to share with the audience about yourself, yes, absolutely.
So, I do what's called energy hypnosis, as far as the field that I've been practicing and experimenting in. I work a lot with photonic light, frequencies, chromotherapy, working with colors, vibrations, etheric energies, celestial energies, everything and above, really. And I've been experimenting and playing around with these things for the past 12 years on myself, but also my clients, because now I'll expand on that a little bit, because those weren't so much experiments, but there's so much to say. But first, I want to just share with everybody.
Yes, share those,
these are awesome.
Please. Yes, they are. They're beyond awesome. Yeah, they're the bomb.com, right?
These is a secret gem. I'm about to bless you guys with a bunch of awesome knowledge out here. These are actually pharaoh rods. Pharaoh rods were used in ancient Egypt for the higher ones in authority to just amplify their field, their healing. It's through the copper that interacts with our own copper in our own body to amplify our electromagnetic capabilities, clear cognitive function, everything and above. This is selenite infused with copper, but the traditional ones are the quartz crystal filled copper and zinc. And what happens is when you hold the copper in the right, put the copper in your blood, because it's naturally zinc, naturally in our blood, hold this in the left, you hold on to them, they will literally get hot after like 5 minutes. So hot, you may not even be able to hold them any longer because they're so hot. And you're literally creating a cycle of energy, charging and channeling. And I just wanted to share because they're super affordable. You can easily make something like this. So if any of you are looking for some really amazing meditation aids, this is a great place to start. You can just do a simple search, pharaoh rods. So I just wanted to share that.
Yes, I'm so glad that you did. Oh my gosh, that's a lot. That's major gems that you just dropped. Like, I'm gonna
It
get me
is.
some. Like,
Yeah,
literally, I'm gonna
it's
get me some.
they're
Yeah,
badass.
that would really. Oh, oh wow. You know, because we are the conductor, right? And just to have those rods, it's like dousing rods. Basically, you're
Yeah,
just, in the grid, and you're dousing. And
yeah, you can feel them.
your meditation to be just. Yeah, man, that's going to be a lot of energy. That's a lot of energy flowing through there, just such electric current, but it's all
Oh
natural
yeah,
too. Well, but yeah.
yeah. Um, so I guess I'll just get right into it.
Yeah.
Just getting right into it,
Just
creating the
get right
portal,
into it. Let's just
stepping
dig
into it
in.
now. Okay.
Right. Let's just go through the portal.
Um, so the I was raised as one of Jehovah's Witnesses, straight up. Okay.
Seventh day
That's
Adventist.
the first thing I should say. Um, we're pretty much one of the most intensive form of cult organizations out there when it comes to extremity, and a lot of people just aren't really aware of how the Jehovah's Witnesses work. They're very sneaky. They are master illusionists. Um, it's crazy. I mean, just to give you a little idea, the twin towers in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? The Babylonian powers, lower dimensional beings that rule this
Mm-hmm.
entire
Mm-hmm.
construct.
Right.
There's a reason why these companies, Starbucks, the mermaid,
Yes.
these symbols and these different forms of beings present themselves in an illusionary form. But Babylon never was fully destroyed, and the beings at play, they just reconstructed in a more modern fashion. And with the two towers, if you realize the two towers, okay, the watchtower building is right next to
Right.
the two towers. The
Right.
watchtower building in New York is the Jehovah's Witness main headquarters.
Wow.
What are they watching for?
That
Why
part.
is there a watchtower next to one of the most massive buildings in this power construct, this matrix? So it's like, obviously, they're tapped into some pretty deep stuff if they have a building that's right there with all of the other main players in the game. Now, with that being said,
That
there's
part.
a lot of programming, there's a lot of indoctrination, just a lot of abuse, psychological abuse, like just to go low key. It's wild. But long story short, yeah, I was raised as one, and I was fully devoted. I was because my mother, beautiful mother, she really instilled a passion for the creator and
Mm-hmm.
really, really tuned my heart where it needed to be
Yeah.
to focus on the more important things when it comes to higher relationships. So I'm very
Yeah.
grateful for that. And the tools that different religions provide, I'm not trying to necessarily knock all religions, but I think they have their place. Um, but anyways, I was fully devoted, and I've been was preaching, because I've been out of that organization for around 7 years now. But yeah, I was preaching almost full time, put in 30 to 40 hours ever since I was a little kid, 20 to 40 hours for free on, our own dime, all of that. So preaching the good news and going door to door, speaking to people, things like that. It's nothing new. Um, anyways, I discovered uh, over time after I graduated, I started looking into Billy Carson's information. If anybody's
Yeah.
familiar,
Oh, I
Billy Carson.
am.
Yeah.
I am. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. Oof.
Right?
He challenged every little piece of Christian information I had, and was like, really, it makes you face some hard facts. Just a lot of just mind blowing concepts that we never really think of. You know what I mean? In
Right.
this weird
Santos
bubble.
Bonacci is one of them too. That really. dives really
Yeah,
deep into that, right? Very much so. But
I'm
yes,
pretty sure he was also raised a Jehovah's Witness.
he was. Right?
Yeah.
And I was raised Seventh-day Adventist, so I understand, the dogma of
Yeah.
all that because I was went door to door, in
Mhm.
gathering. That's what we would call it, right? And do all that. I used to do all that with my great grandparents. They were very heavily involved in the church with that, so I totally can
Yeah.
resonate with you, literally.
Well, and now it's going to get interesting, you guys. So don't dismiss this conversation because you're going to hear things you've never heard before by anybody else. Nothing even close what you're about to hear. Um, I don't know how I know that. I mean, I could say it's based off of the 12 years of just binging all of this information and different creators. But I think this is everything that I'm saying is it's not me. It's not me. It's definitely my higher self. This whole thing is synchronicity. It's supposed to
Yeah.
happen. I don't know why it's supposed to happen, but it's supposed to happen for something greater that's beyond our conceptualization right now. Maybe there's someone in the audience that needs to hear this right now. Maybe each of us just need this reminder and we just need to hear it played in our head again. We never really know the full answers to these things.
Mhm.
But I just want to say it's going to get fun. So you're going to want to stick around because it's definitely getting interesting. um, Now, the reason I even bring up the Jehovah's Witness ideology and organization that I was in is because it's leading up to something. But I started to wake up after high school. I was diagnosed with a nervous brain system disorder called narcolepsy.
Okay.
And I have narcolepsy and also cataplexy, which is chronic illness that's only associated with some narcoleptics. And I've been dealing with that ever since I was 7 years old. And let me tell you, narcoleptics are actually superheroes. It is a superpower. And a lot of the chronic illnesses that you have is actually a superpower. In one form or fashion, it's a superpower. You just haven't learned how to manage it and control it to make it work for you. But I promise you, there's always a way to shift it. If you're missing both your legs, you're gonna learn to walk on your arms, and you get fucking massive, beefy arms, and you're gonna get a brain like no other. So you're gonna be able to think and do things in a way that someone with legs would never even be able to come close to. So there's always, you know what I mean? There's
Mhm.
always a leverage
Mhm.
point, and with narcolepsy, basically our REM cycles are like a roll of the dice. So we don't get normal REM. Our REM cycles are not in the cycle they're supposed to be to get normal sleep. And our circadian rhythms and all of that, go to bed at a certain time. No, we don't operate on that clock. We operate on the roll of the dice. And with that being said, you can go into alpha state instantaneously within a millisecond, randomly. You'll just be walking on the road, you'll be sitting down, boom, alpha state. Alpha
Wow.
state is one of the most deepest states of mind that you can get in, and something that takes meditational masters to really control and harness years to be able to get into that alpha state. Now with binaural beats and things like that, it's a little easier to tap into that. But this is something that narcoleptic ones, at least myself,
Right?
create. So
That's awesome. I love this. I love this. Keep
so
going. This is awesome.
yeah, and just feel free to interrupt me.
No, you're good.
Just let me know if you have something you'd like to point in or whatever. Questions, whatever. Let me know. um, so yeah, so it really made an interesting childhood because I was able to think about it. If you were able to tap into alpha states instantaneously, that means you are literally able to stop time. You're able to enter into a timeless zone, experience whatever you're going to experience, alter the quantum space and however that may be, and then tap back out. So even though I was only out for 10 seconds, I was working in a realm of endlessness. that's a whole nother conversation. Um,
That'll be for the next time when you come and we have these discussions, because we're going to be rolling out some more.
oh yeah, oh man, it's been a ride. And but I'll tell you, this is where things get very intriguing.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah,
I can
with
imagine.
religion, okay?
Mhm.
Because the Jehovah's Witnesses, they are scholarly practitioners. They are focused solely on the academic side of things, the knowledge, analytical, logistical side, by pure scripture, with certain types of Bibles. But they're not connected to the spirit. They teach the spirit, they understand the spirit. They're not connected on an energetic level to the creator. They give reverence on an analytical state, but in their hearts, they're
Mhm.
disconnected, and that's by design. And so all of these practice, and I discovered that after I left recently, that we were literally disconnected on purpose to take away our power, to stay indoctrinated by the control systems and the agendas that they have in that organization, and something even higher. Um, now, this, so that I'll jump back into that, but I just wanted to throw that out there so you have it in mind. So when I come back to you, you
Mhm.
kind of know why I'm saying it.
Mhm.
Now, my journey started after I realized I had narcolepsy. I was diagnosed with it at 22. And when I already knew that I had something, my mom thought I was crazy for years. She's like, "Oh, you're just staying up too late. And if you're falling asleep every hour in every class every day, then it's just probably because you're not, like she just, it didn't click for some reason, even after I tell her for
Right.
years. Um,
Mm.
but, I was a lab rat. I was a mess. I was on hundreds of medications growing up.
I'm sure.
Um, like especially back then, they were experimenting with Adderall when it was just
Yeah.
coming out. Um, I'm an indigo child. Okay, it's very
Same.
interesting.
Right.
Yeah, yes, you are. Yes, you are, and everyone watching this probably is too. Remember the
Right.
synchronicity. You're not here by accident, by
Mhm.
chance. No,
Mhm.
no. We're all on the same wavelength right now. Now it's interesting because in the 90s, early 90s, that's when they started. That's when, and there's several channelers and facts that show that that's when indigo children really started to get pumped out. But
Mhm.
it's very interesting that that's also the time that they were coming out with all these different forms of medication for
Right.
ADHD, trying to figure out how to
Mhm.
handle it, trying to, you know, block. I wonder why they're trying to drug the little
Right.
super hours they're getting pumped, right? To raise the
Exactly.
consciousness. It's part of the
Mhm.
design.
Yep.
So um, I was taking meds all the way up until I graduated. And after I graduated, I was like, hell no, no more, no more. It's not, it's my time. I'm controlling
Yeah.
here. I'm going to figure it out. And that's exactly what I did. After I
That's so
graduated, I told my mother, I was like, look, mom, no more meds. I don't care how I'm acting. I'm going to figure it out with myself, my own mind, my own power, my own programming. No more masking or putting aside or trying to cover something up that's very obvious there. And so I was forced to go head on head with all these different
Mhm.
instabilities, with ADHD, ADD. I had really bad anger problems back then. I was in a suicide hospital twice at age 15 and at age like 17. So yeah, it was like there's a lot going on, and I think that was kind of normal actually back then. As I know, I was not the only one. I know it was very regular, probably.
Right.
And
Right. Yeah.
yeah,
Unfortunately, it's so tragic too. It's just tragic because it's such an epidemic, right? It really is so much. I'm so
hmm
glad you're waking this up. I have chills.
yeah. Why? This is something I think a lot of people are aware of now, but not so much even just
Right.
7, 10 years ago.
That part.
Um, but I'm just saying these things because I feel like it's important for ones out there that maybe have kids. Maybe you experienced this yourself. Like it's good to know that there's others that dealt with similar things, came out on top, and they're in their power, and they're only ascending higher and higher, because that's where I find myself these days through everything that's been going on. So much lessons, so many blessings, and it absolutely gets better. But it begins with our own self-reflection, self-realization, and it's only by going deep inside of yourself that you can discover how to come at these things, because we're all different. Nothing's going to work the same as it would work for me or work for you, things like that. Now, this is where it gets fun, because my first mentor is Dr. Joe Dispenza. My man, Dispenza. Oh my gosh.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Puts you on a whole nother level, does it not? And just answers so many of your questions that you were literally searching for. Because same. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. No, exactly that. My first book was Becoming Supernatural. Well, guess what? Through that information and experiments, because I'm a sound engineer for 15 years. I grew up, I'm a nerdy dude. I like my medieval times, like my fantasy, magic, dragons. It's an awesome way to live, to be into that thing and bring that magic into real life, even if it's a placebo. But we all know it's not really the placebo. We all know it's real. The energy, the etheric, celestial, it's data now. It's proven. It's like, this ain't even up for debate anymore, and it's a beautiful thing. But it was through the information Dispenza introduced to me that allowed me to use my sound engineering experience to work with different frequency sets, to also reverse engineer a lot of the way the movies and the media systems brainwash us. And I was thinking, man, if I could brainwash myself to heal myself in a way that Dispenza speaks on, in the way that he did it, in my own unique way, but amplify off of what he's already been teaching, I wonder what that would look like. So I started to experiment heavily with subliminal messaging, different types of brainwashing mechanisms and techniques, and they're really hard to find. They're like almost non-existent. You can't find stuff on this, no matter how hard you look, and it's very surface level. So you're kind of forced to experiment. Anyways, I started out with subliminal affirmations, where I would use my frequency audios and I would say something in certain specific frequency sets to brainwash myself. I'd listen to it all night long for about 6 to 8 hours long. Listen to it. And I would speed it up to where one affirmation that you look at yourself and you say in the mirror, I love myself, I'm confident, I'm powerful. You say that 100 times, it's going to take you 20 minutes or something, 15 minutes. But if you speed it up times 10, times 20, times 100, you're going to get that message that your supercomputer brain's going to be able to take in, and you listen to that all night long for a week, for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks, for a month. What is that going to do to you? Yeah, magic.
Endless possibilities. That's what it'll do to you, because you're you're defragmenting and you're reprogramming into those quantum fields and that data, and that's beautiful. Literally diving in that deep subconscious, right? And really tapping into the quantum field. And I love these conversations. This is what it's all. Raven's always in the quantum, right? Well, because we're quantum beings here having a human experience, right? That part. And so many don't even, that's what they, they don't want us to know.
Well, it's too bad. It's too bad. We in the house now.
There's nothing they can do about it.
We can't touch this.
It's wide open. It's wide open.
Have an organite donut. Here you go.
I love the organite. When you brought up organite, I have an organite pyramid back here on my altar, right? And yes, oh my gosh, yes. That is just such a mess. It's the things that you can do with that, but not just to mention all the EMF radiation that it literally, right? So much power. That it's awesome. I love organite. I love it. You made that.
This is an orgonite generator. It
Wow.
connects to the 5G frequencies, and it basically transmutes that, and it purifies it and turns it into, or overrides it into orgonite energy. These things
That
are
is
powerful.
awesome. They are very powerful. Oh
It's
yeah, that's an
next level.
understatement. Yes, that is.
Yeah.
That is next level. You have an Etsy shop, literally. Do you? Because you need to get one. You need to get one for these to be marketed out. Like, right? He's going to show his copper crown. Looky there. Oh wow, I love that. I just love that. I do. Look at
Hey,
that.
hey. Well, there's a story behind everything, but I'm about to wear this because it's freaking comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm not even lying. All you got to do is get you a copper wire. You fit it to your head, and what you're doing, and this is something nobody. It's a lost healing tool. It really is. I mean, there's a reason why people of royalty wore crowns. It's because they had specific Tartarian energetic concepts. So check it out. Copper's in our blood, right? Copper's in our and associated with our brain. It's everything that makes us conductive. Now, when you get a copper piece of wire, a thicker one, and you fit it to your scalp to where it fits perfectly, and a little nudges, whatever, fit it perfect, and you tighten it, make a little antenna with it. It's gonna constrict the blood flow quite a bit. So all of the blood now strong up to the head. So all the copper, all that other copper in the blood, it's coming up in one spot. Now your copper, you're infusing even more copper into this specific section. So now what you're doing is you're bringing an amplified, more amplified field into your space here. So everything feels amazing. Cognitive function through the roof. If you have a migraine, it's gone. If you add a piezoelectric coil wrapped crystal, you now are emitting extra infinite amounts of energy. And now you can intentionally program that crystal with any kind of information, any kind of frequency to do whatever you want it to do. So these things are so powerful. If you have headaches, if you have migraines, all you gotta do is get you some copper, wrap it to your head, just put it on. You're gonna feel 1,000 times better. I swear to God.
Wow.
I could go all day on the crowns, but yeah.
You can. You have time. That is just amazing. Just so many gems. Everybody, I have even the ones that catch this replay, right? There's so many gems that you can just so creative, right? And for your holistic health, like that's for your cells, your bloodstream, your chakras. Hello. Like that's so powerful. That's so powerful, Ryan. It's so powerful. Like literally. Wow. It's amazing. It is. It's amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. I don't even know how I find all this stuff. It's at this point in my life, I'm like, I'm no longer like in the seat. I'm no longer at that. My old lower density self, it's been erased. I kid you not. I discovered
Right.
this recently. My higher self is now fully in control. It's an amazing, beautiful transition that you will know instantly when you've tapped into it, or you will eventually become aware of it. But I always thought, and maybe I did make my own conscious decisions back then with my lower density self, maybe connected to ego. But once you get rid of all of that, it's like you literally are just a character that your higher self is controlling you.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, our real selves are our spiritual essence. This is just the vessel, right?
Yes.
So it's amazing.
It is amazing.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Okay, so I just wanted to touch on, because there are a few things I wanted to cover in this stream. And one of those was the transition from curing. So I ended up curing my narcolepsy, or eradicating 90% of it.
Right? Yeah. Right.
And I did that by rewiring the neural pathways in my mind using my subliminal audios. That's when my journey really began, because I discovered the power that these affirmations hold, because it's a hack. It's a hack into your subconscious mind in a way you can penetrate it with lasting information without having to do all of this other conscious stuff. Not to say that those don't have their place. I've literally read, I didn't even read Dr. Joe Dispenza's book until months later. I was listening to his audiobook while I slept. But I would speed it up, and you have already tried this too. But the more you do it, the more you prime your brain to receive this information in those unique ways. So you become
Mm-hmm.
more receptive to it. And I already
Yes,
knew the
yes.
information before I even read the book, like
Of
everything.
course you did. Of course you did. You downloaded that sucker.
Yeah,
You just
literally.
telepathically just went and you just downloaded it, all of it, right? Oh my gosh, I got chills right now. I love this. I do the same thing. And then when you open up the book, it's like, oh my God.
I already read that.
I just read that, right? And there's so much confirmation. There's just so much confirmation on that. That is freaking extraordinary. I love it.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
It is.
So yeah, that's a thing. And so now this is when, now as a hardcore Christian, getting into all this stuff that Spencer was speaking on, that's blasphemy.
Yes.
That's demonic.
Mm-hmm.
It's Satan. You don't clear your mind. Demons are gonna come in there and possess you. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. So everything that I was doing in those earlier years, I was going against the grain. But the more, because they strongly push against college, higher education. I wonder why, right? They like to keep people docile, just like the old kings and queens used to do with the peasants. You know what I mean? Keep them dumb, keep them poor, keep them controlled, keep them entertained, keep them distracted. That's exactly what a lot of the Jehovah's Witness organization does. Because I never went to college and it was never prioritized to get higher education. It's just a mess. So, anyways, with that being said, I continue to take a diver deep, because like, okay, well, man, this is totally going against all the stuff that I've been taught my whole life that's apparently bad. And well, frequency and energy is not actually demonic or spirit mess. It's just a frequency. It's just an energy. It's just literally the
Wow.
electromagnetic sphere.
I know.
Stuff like, what's that?
I said, I know it literally is. I'm just agreeing with you. Yeah, I love this. Let's just waken it,
Yeah.
because it really is. And it's just like what you were saying earlier. It's a fear mongering technique is what they use,
Yeah.
And I'm loving that you're waking it up.
Yeah. And this is where it gets deep.
Right.
So this is where the real fun's about to begin, you guys. Okay. As I was reading this, it took me a couple of years of reading it, listening to it all the time, taking in Billy Carson's information. I also,
Mhm.
there was another individual. His name is Charlie Rocket. Highly a lot of his stuff is actually gone. I was introduced to his stuff when he was earlier on, but he was a
Okay.
huge inspiration to me. He was kind of introducing like quantum mechanics, quantum physics,
Yes.
and
Yes.
he healed his brain. He healed a brain tumor. He used to be like 400 pounds. He lost a really just inspiring guy.
Yeah. I
Um,
think I know I've heard that story. I just know I have. Yes.
yeah,
Yeah,
he
I
was
know
like a
I have.
famous hip hop music production manager or something, but I think
Okay.
he was pretty well
Okay.
known back then.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so um, as I was taking this in, I was conscious of the information, but I hadn't really experienced anything yet that confirmed all of this stuff was real. That was until, because I have a brother and a sister, an autistic brother and a little sister. My
Mm-hmm.
brother was born when I was 17. and my sister was born when I was 21. So I grew up in a household with a stepfather. Um, Crazy. If you have any experience with autistic, he was high functioning, had a high functioning autism, but younger, he was like a demonic possessed child. That was back then when it was a lot less, and people didn't really know what to do with it. He would throw things, he'd
Right.
yell and scream in crazy ways
Yeah.
all day long. It was just wild. And
Right.
they moved me out of my room because at the time I was living with my parents, and I lived with them until I was 24. But they moved me into the garage. They put me out of my room and put me in the garage so that the new kids could come and have their little space. It's fine. I understand. That's cool.
Yeah.
Now, I was just in a really particular moment because I was in a small town, didn't have any
Okay.
opportunities, feeling defeated because I didn't have any education, no opportunity. Now, I would always say to myself, I'm stuck, I'm stuck, I'm stuck. I can't move, I can't move. There's nothing here, there's no opportunity. I would always say that for like 3 years.
Wow.
Well, this is where I learned the nature of manifestation. It was through the next 4 years of my life of manifesting, just in short, without having to go in long details about it. Literally broke my foot on a place I played basketball for the past like 10 years without ever falling anything. But I broke my foot running down a hill to grab the ball.
Okay.
Most people would think of it just a regular foot break. Okay, it happens. No, it doesn't happen. You make it happen. And I realized that. I realized I manifested it because I would always say, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I can't move. I can't move. Okay. Next thing happened after that 6 months. It was a complete break. Both of my knees gave out. My
Oh, wow.
bursitis sacs and both knees busted.
Mm.
No reason why it should have actually happened. It literally, I mean, what happened is I manifested. I have programmed myself for my body to respond in a way that I told it to, basically. Because of that injury, well, both of those injuries, I became extremely depressed. I lost all of my, like, literally all of my body fat. I looked like a starving kid from Africa because I never
Mm.
left my room. I literally, atrophy was all over me. I mean, I was thin as a stick. Bad, bad. Like, so bad, people would look at me and automatically just pity me. And it was the worst feeling you could ever imagine when people look at you and know you're so fucked up and just have nothing but just pity. It's the
Yeah.
worst feeling. I grew up very capable. I grew up taking care of my mother, doing everything, for us to help us provide, to literally not being able to walk, and being like that. And then after that, I was in my bed, homebound for a whole year. I couldn't walk. My mom had to help me shower. She had to bring me food, meals. I didn't think I was ever going to be able to walk again because the doctors could
Wow.
never identify what was going on. So,
Wow.
long story short, finally figured it out after that year. The psychological damage is I just can't, because I had no one visiting me. I was in a little room with no windows,
Exactly. Right.
and it was bad. I was broken for several years after that. I couldn't even look anybody in the eye because I would just start tearing up. I would just cry uncontrollably.
I'm sure.
Um, yeah, it was, it was pretty intense.
Yeah. That's an
After
understanding.
Yeah, but after I healed from that, after my legs, psychological healing began. But now this is what really kicked my higher self and like it activated it. Okay,
Okay.
after I healed it and I started to walk again, even though I was broken psychologically, I died so many times in those moments. I had so
Right.
many rebirths.
I know you did. Yeah.
You know, Now, this is where things get really interesting because what I would always say when friends that hadn't seen me for the past 2 years, because I'd been literally isolating myself,
Mm-hmm.
um, I would say, yeah, I would never look at them directly. I'd always be like, haha, yeah, no, everything's cool. All I need now
Right.
is just to, not word for word. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All I need now is to get hit by a truck and my life will be complete. Ha 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 ha. I would joke around. I would use humor to deflect, but I would
Mm-hmm.
always say that exact line. Ha ha ha. Yeah. All I need now is just to get hit by a truck, Ha ha ha. Guess what happened 3 months
Oh,
later?
wow. We got hit by a truck. See? Because our words are so
80 miles an
powerful.
hour.
Oh, my goddess.
Three blocks from my house.
Ooh. Oh, wow. 3
Three blocks
blocks,
from my
too.
house.
Wow.
No, wait, not 3 blocks. No, it was 3 blocks from my house. And yeah, hit me at 80 miles an hour. Now the numbers are very important here.
Yeah, they really are.
Uh, I should have died. I should have become paralyzed. The driver was a illegal immigrant that ran the red light, and as I was pulling out, hit my driver's side this close from my legs.
Wow.
But it did shatter my little, because I didn't have my seatbelt on. Somehow,
Mm.
I think it probably would have been worse. They say if I
It
had it
would have
on.
been. It would have been. That's why it saved your
Yeah.
life because you didn't. Yes.
But
Wow.
long story short, okay. I was in shock for like a month or two. But after kind of after around that time, I clicked, because with reading Dr. Joseph Dispenza's books, Billy Carson, learning about manifestation, learning about how the brain
Mhm.
works, learning about programming, learning about how we send frequencies out, we ship and shape reality. All of that knowledge was making itself known to me as the knowledge accumulated with the now experience that I was able to bring into a whole that just
Wow.
blasted my whole interpretation and understanding of these things. It was through the negative interactions with these very things that I manifested that woke me up. And after this truck hit me, I said to myself, in my, like, with all the conviction and everything, I said, I will never, ever, ever allow my emotions to dictate my thoughts, my actions. I know who I am. I know that I have literally manifested every little thing that's happened, every little specific detail.
Right.
Um, and I realized it's the plateaus. I think it's Plato's law.
Yep.
80 20 law.
Yes. Yes.
80% of us are in control of every little thing we do. Every little thing,
Mhm.
we're in control of 80% of our circumstances, our health, everything. Only 20% is that chaotic force, or even as the scripture says,
Mhm.
there's unforeseen
Mhm.
occurrences befalls all men. These unforeseen occurrences are that 20%. And it's just chaos. It could be really anything, but there's always going to be that 20% kind of interacting with your 80%. But
Exactly.
ultimately, 80% is all on you. There's no excuse.
Nope.
Yeah.
Man, and there isn't, right? That's just how the karmic wheel goes because it's the spiral, right? And
Yeah.
I manifested me too, and I really resonated. I resonate with your story so freaking much. Whew, a lot. Because for them to, even when they say you have autoimmune, and things, and you go through these surgeries and you're on these medications and things, and you just hit that point where I'm like, I can't do this. I'm not going to do this no more. Right. And
Mhm.
it's all about reprogramming your whole everything, your whole DNA, everything, your mind, your body, so deep
Yeah.
within, and you literally have to isolate yourself. Like the universe literally throws you into that, even into
Mhm.
more of your awakening. Go, are you going to learn? Like that's like Saturn, saying, okay, have you learned yet, child? have you learned yet, child? Like, are we going to keep repeating these cycles, right? And it's in
Yep.
same. It's like you have to have that inner understanding and that awareness of your word. Our words are so powerful, and we really do create our own reality. And there's so many things that I have said and like, oh my God, it's like, no, Raven. And I will literally catch myself. I'm like, nope, cancel, block, delete. Like, we're not even
Hmm.
going there. That's not my reality. I don't consent. Like, it is,
Yeah.
just, but you have to have that awareness.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So when that happened and I made that contract with myself,
Yes.
I sold everything that I owned. Well, first, I decided to take a random trip to Guatemala. And I'd never been out of the country. I never traveled. I never lived by myself. I never did anything really. I was 24. And I went and lived there for 3 months solo. I didn't know Spanish, didn't know anything. I knew what I was capable of, though. I knew how
Right.
I could interact with reality through the frequencies I project. That I knew. That's all any of us need. Did that. Went there, it blew my mind because it's so fucking beautiful. And they
Right.
have organic coffee farms that are so freaking good and natural
Mm.
cacao. Oh my God. Everybody's like 4 feet tall. It's pretty funny. Everyone's so cool, authentic. They're humble.
I would fit in there.
And
I'm only 5 foot. I'm like 4'11", 5 foot. I'd fit in
oh
there.
yeah, you would. Yeah, you would. But I'm 6'2", so I'm a pretty big
Right.
dude. And there is like everyone was little tiny, interesting. But anyways, being there though, I was like, why the hell am I living in America? Why the hell am I living in this country when I could be living in a place like this?
Right.
So when I came back, I sold everything that I owned, everything. Not that I
Mm-hmm.
had like that much, but still, I took everything, my
Yeah.
whole life, threw it down the drain. My family, my
Mm-hmm.
friend, the few friends I had, they
Mm-hmm.
all were trying their best to convince me, oh, you're going to get burned in a trash can. You're going to get mugged. You're going to blah, blah, blah. All the most graphic shit they could project onto me, they were throwing it
Mm-hmm.
at me. But
Mm-hmm.
I already knew through everything that I manifested, I am in control. I am in control. I'm protected. I'm guided. I manifest as I see it to be, straight up. So that's exactly what I did. I got on a plane and I was nervous. Okay, I was nervous. I had a lot of anxiety from all the shit that they were showing me and graphic stuff because they were trying to keep me down.
Right. Oh, I
And
bet. That's what happens when, it really happens when we really, really change our things and really want to leave and go. And because we know what's best for you and you're following your heart.
yeah,
Right. Yes.
yep, yep. And but I said a prayer. Now, this is where it gets interesting because, or I keep saying that, but this is just another interesting side note. Um, in that prayer, it was a 3-hour plane trip, by the way.
Okay.
I was saying in my mind, Creator. In the time, I was still praying to Jehovah because I was still one of Jehovah's Witnesses in this moment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and I was saying Jehovah. But in my mind, it's the creator of all. That's how I
Right.
saw the name Jehovah. The energy that
Right.
I was giving into
Exactly.
Jehovah,
Right.
but in
Right.
my mind, it was the creator of all.
Yes.
So
Yes.
essentially, even though I was giving energy to the name Jehovah, my soul was connecting to the
Exactly.
creator, pure source.
Yes.
And what I would say exactly word for word is that Jehovah, do not allow anything to touch me. Do not allow any physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, any kind of destruction, any kind of harm. Do not allow anything to touch me. And I just kept saying it like a mantra. And then I
Mm-hmm.
just poured my heart out to like, look, Jehovah, you see what I've been through. You see the pain that I've been enduring. You see the past 4 years of my life being confound to my bed and not being able to walk for a whole year, not being able to walk
Mhm.
6 months prior. I literally could not walk for almost 4 years because of these
Goodness.
different things that literally made me stuck that I manifested. So I learned
Right.
my lesson, but I was like, please, like, allow me to own this and work with me side by side. Don't go, you know. And
Mhm.
anyways, so 3 days of arriving in Baja California and Rosarito, 3 days, I met this guy at the airport and invited me over his house. I didn't know him. I just randomly met him. He's also from Arizona. He's a foreigner though, but
Mhm.
he's been living there for a little while and whatever. And we got to talking. He's like, "Oh yeah, come over, man. You know, we'll play some basketball, whatever."
Mhm.
It's like, cool, let's do that. Get to his house. He's like, "Hey, I forgot the ball next door. Go inside my house. Let the family and everybody know who you are. They're all inside. Make yourself at home." All right, cool. Go inside the house. Um, introduce myself real fast. Sit down on the couch. Not 3 minutes pass. There's 6 people. Pay attention to these numbers.
I
There's six
am.
people in these house.
Okay.
Um, 3 minutes pass. Try to think of the most extreme anything circumstance that you can imagine happen. You'd probably never be able to guess it. The entire house explodes.
What in the world?
The entire house explodes. They have two massive propane tanks, one
Oh
underneath the
wow.
house and
Oh
then one in the
wow.
back. Um, the investigators don't, to this day, don't know why or how it happened. But
Wow.
I'll tell you this. This is some parts I left out earlier. But
Mhm.
my grandmother, my beautiful superhero nanny, as I call her, she passed in a house fire of unknown
Oh
origin.
wow.
And
Okay.
my papa Gary, the most amazing, hard, just gangsta people, beautiful, loving, just like all in one package. They passed away in that fire. Um,
Wow.
my sister, uh, when I was 21, and her brother also passed away in a fire of unknown origin.
Oh my goodness.
Um, I'm Aries,
Right?
and when this explosion happened in this home, before I expand on that, it really made me think because, like that's my element. And I had a very chaotic childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm feeling that my connection with these loved ones of mine um, in some way influenced the field and some kind of way manifested these situations. Because that's how these quantum interactions work and the frequencies we project, the loved ones we're connected to, we receive a lot of their everything, their traumas, their whatever
So
it is.
true.
You're gonna get a piece of that or a lot of that, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the situation here. Now that a house exploded, I somersault. In Mexico, the roofs, the ceilings are very high. They're like 12 feet high. They're huge. All the houses are like that. All I remember is I was in that couch. The whole house, literally, like if you got just threw grenades in there,
Oh
I
wow.
somersaulted 2 times. I remember in my vision, like on a trampoline, and my
Wow.
back hit the ceiling. Boom, fell straight back down on the floor. I was unconscious for, I believe, 3 minutes. I
Wow.
wake up to my friend's mother screaming in agony, like a horror film. Oh, my back!
Mm,
Oh, she had
right.
a huge piece of furniture on her with this huge metal shard that was shoved into her back of her spine, sticking out of her.
Mm,
Her husband's foot, half of his leg got blown off. He was screaming in agony. My friend's friend that was there had shards of metal and furniture pieces stuck into his shoulder. He was screaming. Everybody was screaming in agony. The house was burning within that 3 minutes, probably within 6 minutes total. The entire house was filled with smoke, thick, black as can be. That's how thick this smoke was. It was, you couldn't. I don't even know how to describe how black and dark it was, but it was going everywhere because that one propane tank had exploded completely. It shot itself through 3 of the brick walls into the street.
Oh my goodness.
Anyways, I was the only one untouched. I didn't have a bruise on me. I don't have PTSD. I have nothing from that experience. What? How?
Right. And the number 6, you said there were 6. That's Venus. And Venus is like the hottest lava freaking planet binary star there is, right? I mean, she's like lava. She's volcanic lava. And you're Aries, right? And Mars. You know what I mean? Exactly. Wow. That's all about home, security, balance, nurturing. Wow.
Yeah. When that happened, the whole area, like couple towns next to it heard about it. Everyone, even the border control, knew about it. They literally, in the Jehovah's Witness assembly, they have an assembly once a year where thousands of people meet and congregate in an actual big rented assembly. They spoke on it. They probably still speak on it. And say this situation by name and how God saved this young man, using it to their, glory and all that. What I have come to see about that is it was the field that I created and I channeled through that affirmation. I was literally creating an auric field of protection around me.
Exactly.
I think it was that also mixed in with some like higher force shielding me.
They were.
I think it. Yeah, I think that it was teaching me though my own personal power, and this was part of the lesson. And so that's when I knew I was almost invincible.
Right.
I got hit by a truck at 80 miles an hour. I had that truck hit me. I exploded in that house. I have pictures, by the way, of the whole house. And I could write a story on that experience because the grandpa was trapped in the back and it was burning so quick. I mean, it's a whole movie, that experience.
Yeah.
But so there's a lot to take away there. And it just really points out, many different things and things that each of us are capable of if we, we tap in. So I stayed in Mexico. I didn't leave. I continued to live there for 7 years. Well, I moved all around. I lived there for another year and a half. I was a little afraid to turn on the oven after that for like a few weeks.
I can only imagine. Oh my goodness. That's so traumatic. That's so traumatic. So many traumatic things, right? Oh my gosh.
But I'm fine. I literally have zero trauma. Like I was literally fully shielded.
Yeah.
And
that's when my this is the power of love and faith. That's literally the power of faith and trusting fully, because I do, fully in source creator, but also in yourself, knowing, knowing, and literally sitting there, observing it too, and going, wow, look, my thoughts created this, and having that awareness of that. That's, yeah.
Oh, so I'm glad you pointed that out because the reason that I know for a fact I activated that with my elemental, fire alignment or whatever you want to call it. I know that I did that because as soon as I woke up after being unconscious, I 100 in my bones. I swear to God, I thought we were being attacked by the cartel. I thought someone threw a
Wow.
grenade or something, and I thought there was
Yeah.
gunfire. It was like
Yeah.
I had a trauma response to something, and I instantly got up and I got in cover, looked for cover, like as if someone were shooting at me.
Right.
And
Right.
I
Exactly.
I I did that, and
Wow.
I manifested this situation through the trauma and graphic projection that my family was putting into me like a month before my trip.
That
And
part.
that is exactly what
Right.
happened.
That's
It
exactly
manifests.
what happened, because they said this is going to happen. This is going to happen. You're going to get right. They even brought up the fire, the burning. They even brought that up in so many things. And yeah, I got chills just talking about it. But yes, it's like words spoken into existence, literally. And people
Yeah.
literally don't understand that that's the thing. They don't understand how powerful we really are in our words. And I've been saying this a lot lately, not just for myself, but even speaking it out loud to my audiences, expect even on
Mhm.
TikTok, when I'm going live over there every day, that,
Yeah.
what if that was the last thing that you said to somebody in your heat of your moment? Because we do that, right? We're humans. We're going
Yeah.
to do those things. But man, we really got to really watch. Like, I wish so and so would, no. I mean,
Mhm.
literally, that could literally happen. Like, no, 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 no. You don't,
Mhm.
no, you don't want to have that karmic tie to, you just really got to watch your words. Your words are very powerful. You do create your own
Yeah.
reality. And I'm really, really stressing that out. But, a lot of people have to live through it and see it like, whoa, okay. Because so many will say, oh, yeah, whatever. I don't believe in that or whatever. Like, okay, well, sit back and watch then. And then come
Mhm.
back to me or whatever, or don't. But just literally watch, observe, and see how these things really do manifest in your life. The good thoughts, the bad thoughts, the ugly thoughts, whatever. It's all your mind, and it drops in and it really ripples out, has these ripple out effects, and can cause so many destructions in so many other people's lives as well. So yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's well, I mean, it's not always us though,
Exactly.
and that's where it gets confusing. And I think that's where people have that doubt because they're like, I didn't say it. Well, your ancestral lineage through your generational trauma said
Right.
it.
Right.
Your mother said it that you love dearly, but she says a lot of stuff she shouldn't say. Also, your uncle that maybe used to say stuff, but he passed away. But he still channeled a lot of that manifestation. It took 3 years to build up that vibration to literally manifest into the 3D. So,
Right.
you know, the ones we associate with the things we watch, the movies we watch, the books we have, the images we have, got to be very careful because that's why people are so fucked these days, and that's why
I
they're so
know.
deep. It's not even them. It's the things that have been associated in their field, whether even if it's not directly them, it still is intertwining with them.
That part.
Yeah.
Very much so. Very much so. Right. Because it's this quantum, it's the quantum entanglement, right?
Yeah.
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 The quantum
Was
entanglement,
it's
literally.
the quantum entanglement and it's the
Yeah.
programming,
That
and
part.
that's why my tools are so powerful because I
They really are.
that's why I'm at where I'm at right now is because these subliminal tools and these systems that I've made through experimenting on myself and friends of mine
Right.
and a whole other things, I've been able to deprogram those things in a very rapid rate, and it's allowed me
Hmm.
to get to just places that I don't think ones introduced to that stuff are able to get because there's so much and there's so many locks, and you have to have these keys to these locks. Otherwise, you're going to be just doing you're going to keep going round and around and around. You're going to stay in
That
the
part.
same toxic relation. So you have to have, and that's the problem. A lot of these people these days, even now, they never go directly into the subconscious mind, or they're using old traditional methods when there's so many more powerful tools to utilize to get you in a state faster, quicker, more efficiently. Um, yeah, it's a whole nother conversation.
No, no. That really ties into the conversation, because not to mention, look at these beautiful tools that you literally, like, you got the ferro rods. Okay. Not to mention how much regenerating I do know this, how much regenerating your whole tissues, your whole cells, your whole light codes, your whole everything. You are literally reprogramming everything back to 0 point with these tools that you literally have.
Well, these are actually pretty new.
That's just
The
beautiful.
tools,
I'm just like,
just
I
in
love
general,
it.
there's a lot. There's so many tools out there. There really are. You just got to get innovative and get creative with them.
That
You
part,
know,
right?
and as I always say, there's a method to the
To the
madness.
madness. I knew you was gonna say it.
Yeah.
There is. There always is. It's like you're in the. I can literally see you. I love doing these things. It'd be the chemist in the lab, and you have all your elements and your compounds and your
Mm-hmm.
orgone, your zinc, and your. I
Neem
love
wood,
this, and your
a high
copper.
vibrational wood.
Yes. Did you literally dermatool your own? You did that too. Your
No,
medallion?
no, this
No.
was gift. I live in a Hindu
Oh,
temple.
wow. My mom used to do
Um,
those things. She used to.
yeah.
She used to make jewelry like that. She used to Dremel tool. I
Oh,
have some of
this,
hers right here on my altar. Matter of fact, that she Dremel
yeah,
tooled. Mm-hmm. I literally do. They're so
yeah,
powerful though. Oh
they're
my
very
gosh.
powerful.
They so are. Yes.
Um, so yeah, that's what it really. I realized that there's just a lot of unlocks that I continue to expand on for the next 7 years. But there's a lot of stuff that happened though.
Yeah.
Bad, not good things. Uh, Necessary things. Not good, not
Necessary
bad.
things,
Just
right?
necessary. Yeah.
You're just
Yeah.
neutral with it. You're neutral. See, that's the
It
thing
took.
when you come to this part, of the journey, right? Because I
Mhm.
know because I'm the same. Things that's happened to me, near death experiences. Oh my gosh. Everything that's happened to me has always been a near death experience ever since I've been 8 years old. Spent my ninth birthday in ICU from getting snake
Mm.
bit at church camp, right? Seventh-day Adventist church camp. Was at a campfire, came in to gather our things to get ready to go to bed, right? And it was on a slab deep in the woods, right? But we were at tents that time. It wasn't cabins, right? At that time.
Mm.
So when everything was Tupperware back then in them days, showing my real age, right? And my grandmother, like she raised me too. So therefore she labeled everything, right? Your toothbrush, everything, right? So I'm getting my things out. And as I'm doing that, that snake was coiled up and behind my suitcase. And when I did, it bit me. And I had to be rushed to the hospital and I was in
Wow.
ICU and I barely made it, right? And I'm thinking, okay, how significant is that? Because it is the numbers, right? I was 8 years old
Hmm.
and then I
Yeah.
turned 9, right? Completion, end of cycle, right? 8. And I'm like, okay, wow, that's so spiritual too to get. So I just say I was initiated into the snake wisdom, right? Just that I got
Wow.
initiated. That's how I look at it because I'm double
Mm.
jointed now in my ring finger on my left hand. And it was a
Wow.
very big female snake. Yeah, because she went after the director of the church camp as well. She was just very aggressive, and they did find her and things like that. But also, too, a hysterectomy. My uterus detached when I was only 33 years old. And my fourth child was just 16 months, right? And it's like,
Mm.
whoa, everything. And then after that, I came down with diverticulitis in 2014 and I had a near death experience. My colon perforated and I freaking I was gone when I went under, right? And I barely had it. I mean, they didn't even know if I was going to make it. That's just how bad it was. And it just happened so freaking fast. And I did. I had a near death experience and she told me to come back. And I didn't see no light. It was pure dark. I went into the primordial waters, the deep darkest of the waters, right? And then after that, she said, come back. And then when I did that, I just had told myself, lifted up myself out of my body and literally kept on my
Mm.
holistic things. But everything that they gave me synthetically, I had to come home with a wound vac. I just was so sick. My body went into shock. I was there for 14 days and I just said, man, get me out of here. because they just couldn't figure me
Mm.
out. They're like, oh my gosh, you know, Royal's my real name, my birth name, like Royal. I'm like, okay, I'm that alien. You're not going to figure me out. I'm that 1%. And I know this, but if you discharge me, I can heal myself. I need nature. I need Mother Gaia, Mother Earth. I need to go home.
Mm.
Right. And as soon as I did,
Yeah.
that's the first thing I did. I had my womb back on. I was bare feet. I went straight back there in my backyard and I laid on that freaking ground. And I told her, I said, I'm home. And I said, heal me. I know you have me to heal me, and I give it all to you. And that's exactly what I did. Aloe vera. I got me my aloe vera. I went outside. I sun gazed. I
Wow.
laid out there in the sun. I put coconut oil on all my staples, all everything. I went back, and Dr. Ross goes, "Oh my God, what have you done?" I said, "Okay, Dr. Ross, do you know there's 101 things you can do with organic coconut oil?" He's like, "Whoa," because he couldn't believe my incision, right? And then 9 months
Yeah.
later, after that, I had my reversal, and I went into shock after that. And I was there again for 14 days, went back in home nurse care. I had to learn all that on my own through YouTube University. Thank you so much for YouTube. That's why I'm on here. I'm going to shout out. If everybody likes, you know, hit subscribe, hit the like button and things, and really reach out to Ryan on here because he's got so many things. He's just this part right here that he's just sharing this part. That isn't half of it. Like he does marketing. He's into digital marketing. He's got clients, you know, around the world for that he's really he knows his stuff very much so. So I'm just throwing it out there because people need to know. They need to be aware. But there is ways that you can heal yourself, right? When you went through that, and that, like I'm saying, I resonate too, because there was you know, my gastrologist was saying, you know, so many things, and I had so much inflammation in me. Very deep, dark depression. I was so sick.
Mm.
I couldn't move. I couldn't walk. I couldn't talk. I was very deathly, very a skeleton. I weighed like 90 something freaking pounds. I'm only 5'2", so that doesn't look very, you know what I mean? It was just very,
Mm.
and I had to take matters in my own hands, where I did research and I went into holistic health, and that's why I'm a certified herbalist, and I did Reiki on myself and sound healing. And that is why, because I don't want anybody
Mm.
to go through. And yes, I had Crohn's and UC because of that. And I was not going to
Yeah.
be put on synthetic medicine for the rest of my life. I said, nope,
Yeah.
nope, because
Yeah.
it would kill me. It
Word
would
to
have killed
that.
and all the side effects, no way. And my body just will not handle that. It will not handle anything synthetic. I've always been this way since I've been a child. So when I went through all
Wow.
that, I literally have. And that's why I'm in the field that I am today. That's why you know, you do not have to have all those medications. Okay. I know they tell you all those things, but that's just for them, for the big pharma to get their money. Okay. And there's so many
Mm-hmm.
side effects. You're always going to be on those things. So why do that and spend all that money when it is holistically in a herb, in a tea or a tincture or something that Mother Gaia already provides here, called Mother Nature. Okay. So yeah, and that's back in the
Yeah.
ancient days, and holistic and things like that. So it's all about holistic wellness. And if anybody has any questions or anything with that, feel free. All my links are in my bio. You know, let's have a coffee meet and greet, and let's dive into where we need to go, because I don't have no more flare-ups. I don't have my autoimmune that they say that you can never, you know, I don't have flare-ups. I alleviated all that by going into herbal, intermittent fasting, sun gazing, grounding, infrared therapy, just as, you know, like I said, and Reiki, and just herbs, literally, you know, and just mastering your own body and your own gut and all of those things. It's just very, very vital. And it really does tie into the spirituality of it, right? Because our body is our temple.
Yeah. True
Yeah.
that.
So we're sitting here, true aspects of things that we both have went through, life-threatening things that they say that you'll never ever, you know, I'm sure doctors, like you said, you never, you know, couldn't walk for 4 years. Like, come on, look at you.
Yeah.
It's miraculous. Like, you're a miracle. Like, literally, he clicked out. He'll come back. He didn't realize he did that. Oh my gosh, guys, that's so funny. Ah, he didn't mean to. He'll be back. That's just something that happened, guys. Wow, that's what you get when it's live and and unfiltered, right? See, he's back. He's back. It's like you didn't realize you
Hey,
clicked out, right? That's so
yeah.
funny. I've done it too. I literally did that too. It was so funny. I had my interview with the women, my beautiful sisters from, when we did the Hades. And it was so funny
Mm,
because I didn't mean to, but I was having technical difficulties that day, literally, and I had to be on my phone because somebody cut my fiber optic line, my freaking kinetic line, right? And of course they did. So I had to really do all this on my phone and stuff. And I literally, here I am, the host, and my guest was like, "Oh my God, I'm the only one here." And I was like, "I'll be back." She didn't know I was going to be back, but it's like, "Woo, okay, there she is. She's back." But it was just so funny how that even happened. It was just hilarious. So I was like, "You'll be back."
yeah, the Matrix is always doing something to try to get in the way.
Right? It's all this energy and all those
Absolutely.
pharaohs things that you're holding. Well, with that, guys, we're going to really end and wrap up this live. But also, too, I want to know, for the audience out there, I want, how would they be able to get a hold of you? I know we have your description and everything down here at the bottom, but
Hmm.
yeah. How else? Well, it's for like a
Sure.
one-on-one with you. If they like a one-on-one and would love to know about
Hmm.
your orgone and your zinc and all these beautiful quantum divination, quantum therapy, the healing tools that you are making,
Yeah. So I work mostly with what I call digital alchemy.
Mhm.
Digital alchemy is utilizing digital systems through different sacred geometry forms, 2D, 3D, 4D, 5D, and onwards.
Mhm.
And what a lot of people don't realize these days, it's slowly becoming into the known. But through my experimentation with frequencies and light and different photonic forms of light, I realized that the same frequencies we have are the same patterns that we have on our computers with binary
Yes.
code, zero and ones. Those
Yes.
zero and ones make the formations of colors and vibrations in the same way you have a red
Mhm.
flower out in your front yard. So you can use these sacred geometry forms in the same way you have two physical. What is even physical? It's not even real. That's
I
the thing.
know.
It's all an illusion. It's all with the interpretations of the frequencies our brain is able to perceive right
Mhm.
now with the different forms of light. But you can tap in and utilize the same systems with digital systems
Yeah.
as mind templates, and that's what I do. I do special custom vision boards with a very intricate layering system with all kinds of scalar, quantum, sacred geometry, subliminal messaging, utilizing binary code that actually takes certain informations and it transmutes that into pure binary code. So you're
Mhm.
literally receiving the most efficient form of information through zero and ones.
Exactly.
It's just the whole thing. But yeah, you can go on my website. I make audio reprograms, which is a much more sophisticated version of what I was discussing in the very beginning of this with
Okay.
you
Yes.
utilizing affirm. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I make all kinds of different ones for everything from weight loss, stop smoking, healing, concentration. I mean, you name it. I've literally manifested a trip to Brazil that my
Wow.
student bought me by doing one centered around prosperity. 3 days later,
Wow.
it's powerful.
See? It's very powerful.
So
Yes.
you
Wow.
can find everything on my website though.
Okay. Okay. And also, too, yes, everybody that's watching this right now and even on the replay, literally the things that he's literally talking about is his profile picture also on his IG, but also too in his newsfeed on his IG. That is some of the work that he does with those symbols that he is literally talking about right now. And he's really mastering out a lot more as we speak, like at quantum speeds, like you're going to be, I already can tell, right? Wow. So yes, and it is literally in
Yeah,
the description box right here below. All you have to do is
it's
click on it and please follow him. And his website is really linked in all of his bio on his Instagram as well. Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to say it's really exciting because this is the new Atlantean technology that's being gifted to specific ones. This is all technology that's been used for destructive purposes because they didn't utilize it in the right way. It's now being purified to
Mhm.
really usher in the real spiritual life, spiritual earth. Um,
Yes.
and I know without a doubt that what I'm doing, I don't really know many other people that are doing this.
I don't
Anyway,
really
I would
know
love
too many
to.
either. And I would love to meet them, but I'm like, oh my gosh, Ryan, like this is phenomenal. And this is why. This is why Spirit
Yeah,
brings people in Raven's life and Ryan's life like this to have moments like this to get this out here to people that literally,
yeah,
this is for people that would have cancer and just very, very severe. You know what I mean? This would really, oh my
yeah.
gosh. Yes.
I have
I
a.
already know.
If you'd like, I can share a quick example of how
Yes,
I've used one of these
absolutely.
systems with the client.
Yes,
Um,
absolutely.
so so my friend of mine, she actually, I manifested this lady unknowingly through experience because these systems are very experimental. When you're
Right?
working with scalar energy,
Mhm.
there's a lot of variations, and even then, you're not going to have the full piece of pie. We never will. You're working with God code. You're working with
Mhm.
God consciousness. So ultimately, it's going to be a channeling that directs this work ultimately. And
Mhm.
those of the ones that are channeling have to be in that purified state to be even have access to this stuff.
Right.
One of the one of the um, well, how long do we have? Because I don't want to
You're
hold you up.
fine. No, you're fine. You go right ahead. We're like an hour and 21 minutes, and you're fine. There's
Mm,
no limit on
okay.
there's no limit on no, you're fine. You go ahead. You really, you want to explain this, and this is really going more in depth to like show it how the
Yeah.
binary codes work, right? So yes, absolutely. You're fine.
So one of the I was just having fun. I'd already used similar systems. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a game. I'm gonna do in game design, sound engineering. I mean, I do
Right.
everything. If you go on my website, I made that animation you see in the background that's playing. I do
Yes.
energy hypnosis. This is what I do. So I
Yes.
use digital systems to energetically hypnotize your frequency to retune it or transmute it into whatever frequency you're looking to, you know, put into motion.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so when every form of geometry has a very specific purpose in the spiritual world, and or the matrix, the constructed light forms, however you want to say it, and cubes specifically, and you can see this with a lot of the movies. To Transformers, they had the what do they call that cube? Metatron's cube or something that
Yes.
like birthed that robotic thing
Yeah.
into life force or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That's plain truth and plain sight. That's because
Right?
they're telling you right in front of your face. This
Yep.
is something the parasites have known forever. And
Yeah.
so it's these same systems I take from or I receive downloads to use. And so I go into my digital environment that I create
Mhm.
specifically. So for instance, I had a friend, her son was dealing with some kind of negative entity interfering with
Mhm.
them. And
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure not full possession, but pretty close to it.
Right. Gotcha.
Would just randomly get loud and scream and violent with his mother and then act like
Mhm.
nothing's wrong, just
Mhm.
really weird things. And no,
Right.
they couldn't find out any of the problems. And anyway, so what we did is I had her make a little vision board with how she wanted to push forward specific circumstances or frequencies into her son's life, and also to get rid of whatever is going on with him.
Right.
He's never
Right.
been known to be like this. He's always very level-headed guy. He's 21. He was doing great, and out of nowhere, boom, starts talking about
Wow.
how he's the chosen one, and just a lot of
Oh,
real crazy
no,
stuff.
no, no, no,
And
no. Right. Yeah.
we have lots of delusion,
Okay.
or possession, or entity possession,
Yes,
in
that
other words.
part. That's exactly what that is. Yes.
So
Mhm.
what we do, what I use a lot more than anything is biogeometry. We take the unique form of your biogeometry form, your imagery, and your unique shape, your unique instrument that produces unique tones and musical notes. We take your image and then we place it in a digital environment that I construct fully out of nothing. I make different fields for specific purposes. I can put you in a shielded environment filled with blue etheric light that emits that blue calm presence onto your biogeometry that automatically is interacting with your quantums, your vessel, everything. This is like celestial energetic interaction. This is beyond the electromagnetic sphere with just 528 hertz, the electromagnetic body. This is celestial stuff.
Right.
This pretty.
That's why it's called Celestial Journey. Like vibrational pod with
Straight
you
up.
and Raven.
Straight up.
Right. That's exactly why.
So I put a golden light in a circle. Through the circle is a protection field. And it's the same thing. If anybody's familiar with spell work or anything like, it's the same thing. But you do it online, you now have access to all the colors, all of these amazing, you see these badass filters on TikTok? Yo, those are so badass. They invoke the feeling inside of us. That is the key. Neville Goddard speaks on it. All of the major geniuses and gurus speak on activating the feeling through that emotional charge.
Yeah.
So you can take advantage. But the cool thing is this system, it's an automated system. So once I make it, I put it on a server, and this is what I call an organite server. This is some next level shit, you guys.
Oh my God, I love
like
this. I cannot wait to do this. This is my cup of tea, man. Yes, this is my jam.
Yeah. The elites are probably hating me right now. It's great.
Oh well, but you know what? They have to play their role, and you're supposed to be playing yours, right? This is what you come in here for this lifetime, and that's why you went through the things. That's why you went through the things that you went through, so you can do this and show, hey, look what I did to heal me, and this can literally end with the pharaoh rods, right? The selenite. You're Raven's holding our selenite over here, right? I'm always holding it though, every time I need to, especially. But yes, I love this.
So, I could really go really in depth on it. There's just quite a lot to it. This is not. It's taken a number of years to even discover the things I've discovered, not only through just knowledge that I've been studying for 12 years, but experience, man. I've used these systems on myself thousands of times over the years. And I started out with doing similar things. It's evolved. It's definitely evolved. I've been gifted in more and more higher knowledge when it comes to this kind of work over the years.
Yes, that part.
So, but anyways, that's just, you can actually, I have a little example of an experiment I made where I turned myself into a god in this digital game environment. And let me tell you how this works. This is the secret sauce. So if you're really looking to take away some golden gems here, you're going to want to listen to this, because it doesn't get any more powerful. And it's so simple. So when you're cooking a meal, what do you need? Oh, you know what? Let's build a house instead. You build a house. If you're watching your dad build a house, you can go look at him build a house. You can hear him building a house. You can see him getting a hammer, boom, 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 watching the technique. You can view all of these things, and you can listen. You can activate certain sensory perceptions and fields of downloads. But until you're actually taking action intertwined with that, nothing is going to fully activate. And that's the thing. When you're, just like Dispenza speaks on, your brain doesn't recognize what's real and what's not real. So when you say something that's not actually happening, your brain doesn't know that. So anytime you take action on the things you speak on, meaning you put something in perpetual motion, whether that can be getting this, I'm now making motion. I'm taking a literal action that my brain perceives as an action. Or you can go on your keyboard on your computer and play a little game and hop over some hoops. So it's pressing the space bar. you're taking an action. So with these systems, um, I have you take some form of action that activates this confined matrix that I make. And the one that I made that is on my Instagram page. I have to
Mm-hmm.
post it up. It's like way deep in the reels, but I took myself and I made 3 Stargate portals in this digital
Okay.
environment. I created all these things. They were intuitively like I don't know how, it wasn't me. Something else guided me to make this. It's crazy. I know it sounds wild.
No, it does
The
not.
the
No, it doesn't. It's part of your past life that you used to do back in Lemurian Atlantean days. It just ties in with that, doesn't it? So much. Yes.
Look what the sign that I'm making. I didn't mean to
It's
do
a
that.
pyramid, right?
No, it's A. It's an A. It's the
I
Atlantean
know.
symbol.
Exactly,
I've
right?
never I've never did a symbol like this. Like I'm not doing it with my. It's like I don't even know how the heck that happened. It
That
just happened.
mudra too. It's such a strong one. But yes,
So
right?
okay, check it out. I put 12 alien-looking figures. Okay, I don't know. They just look like cool aliens. I don't like
Yeah.
humanoid alien dudes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They,
Yeah.
and I and in my mind, I am presence of myself. I
Right.
wasn't saying like, "Oh, worship me." I'm like, "No, you worship me. Me worship myself." It's kind of
Right.
like in my mind
Exactly.
how this is working.
Yes.
Now,
Yes. Yes.
with each NPC, each character that I place on the
Hmm.
sides, like if they were worshiping me as I got my avatar character and jumped through these 3 portals
Hmm.
into what you see is a huge grimoire book with a vision board that I made,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
then my face on the other page, like huge, like big giant. And now I took scale what's called 0 point frequency audio, and I
Yes.
connected the 0 point frequency sound that literally is the same frequency that we can when we pray we emit a 0 point frequency. They did studies on this, and they've basically been able to create artificial versions to basically copy the God consciousness frequency. That's what this is.
Right. Yes.
I attached that I attached that audio each one to each individual NPC, making an om sound, and I made them bow to me. And every time, like just like a constant animation loop.
Hmm.
And so that was happening as I was walking, and as I was at Starbucks creating this. As I
Okay.
was creating this, as
Hmm.
I was almost finished. I experimented with playing around with it.
Hmm.
Randomly, kid you not, I was in Starbucks on the couch, and I this my body went into like an ascension where I like this, like
Oh,
my head
whoa.
jerked back,
Okay. Yes.
and
Right.
my body
Hmm.
like if you're starting to levitate or fly, you know,
Yes.
you take like that arc position.
Yes.
It took that, and my eyes rolled up in the back of my head, and like my whole body started like shake. And I know it sounds scary, but check it out. While I was happening, that trance that took me over like nothing. I had no control.
I know
I
you
in
don't.
my mind, in my third eye, there was a golden red orange like Dragon Ball Z huge like circular beam of energy
Hmm. Hmm.
like take like just on me, and I'm there or whatever. And
Yeah.
in that moment, I heard the name Anna, and I remembered a girl that I used to have a crush on way back when in high school. She's the only one that was ever nice to me. I used to be 300-pound fat guy, insecure. Now I'm sexy. I've been sexy a long time now, but I used to be really insecure back then. You know
That's
what I'm
me
saying?
then too.
I'm just, this it is what it
I
is.
know what you're
But
saying though. Yes.
yeah, that's a little egotistical, yes, but it's okay. I'm just rolling with it. Um, you get the point that I'm trying to make
I
here.
so do. Yes, I do. I get the point. Yes.
Now, Anna is a lady here that I met when I first moved here. Beautiful
Oh,
soul.
wow.
That almost like this has been so good to me. She's like in her 60s.
Yes.
Um, she was like that figure I needed when I first moved here, and
Absolutely.
she
Absolutely.
And randomly called me
Wow.
after that experience, like 30 minutes after that experience. She randomly called. She's like, Ryan,
Whoa.
hey, I have my best friend. Her son's going through this stuff, and we can't figure out anything. We think he has some kind of whatever. She knows all about what I do. We talk about this all
Yes,
the time.
exactly.
She's like,
Exactly.
Ryan, I told my friend about you, and you do frequency therapy. You do all these things, and I know you would be able to help him, and no, not anyone else, because your work is very unique, and I think this is perfect for what's going on. And I
Mhm.
told her about you. She wants to talk to you. She spent $1,000 on me, like just like
Wow.
that. Like,
Right.
and I charged her less. I charged her originally $101. She's like, and
Wow.
she told me, she's like, are you sure? I feel like you're undercharging me. And I'm like, because I'm still like, I've recently only
Yes.
brought it into the marketing side of it recently,
Right.
even though I've
Right.
been working
Exactly.
privately.
Exactly.
So I, I ended up selling her over $1,000 of that system on top of several other things.
That's awesome.
And her son is just doing leaps and bounds better before I even made it. And what
Hmm.
that means is I was interacting with the quantum, and
Right.
it vibrated before I even had the chance to create it, because the intention and the work was already there.
It so was. And just the colors. When you said the orange and the yellows, I'm like, oh my God, that's so Uriel. You know what I mean? That's Uriel, man. Because okay, I'm always colors too, right? It's colors with the Raven. It
Mhm.
always has been since I've been a child. And you being an ego, you know this, right? And us being that autistic and having all those things, right? Same, right? So right, exactly. I love that. That's so beautiful. Look at that. That's that copper spiral, and then
It's the I am presence, the
I
violet flame,
love it. I
Saint
know.
Germain.
Exactly. Let it blaze, 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 the sacred violet flame. Exactly. I'm always calling. I work with the sacred violet flame always. I always just say blaze, blaze, blaze. I call upon the sacred violet flame, blaze, 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 blaze. I just do. I do
Hmm.
that a
Wow.
lot.
Yeah,
It's like
it's
I really do. That's one of my other, very much so. Purple's
go-to.
always, when purples and the greens and the pinks and the blues and just
Oh,
it
yes.
swirls. It swirls. And when I was really I have this book here, right? And I've had it for so long, right? But when I first got it, and it was literally at this Harry Potter bookshop on Cherry Street here where I live, but it's called Spirit Guides and
Mm,
Animal Guardian. I mean, and your angel guardians, right? And it has so many techniques to
mm,
do in here, right? But that's what I did. I called upon Uriel. I was calling about, just the
mm,
different angels and the angelic realm and things. And when I did do a
mhm,
meditation and I called upon Uriel, they don't happen right then and there. Sometimes it can happen a few
mm,
minutes or an hour or so, or just out of the blue when it happens, right? And I literally was leaving my
mm,
house after the meditation, but I forgot about it because, you get busy and things. So I literally was going to pick up my children from school. And when I did, I literally got in my truck, was leaving, went to the stoplight, and I began. I mean, Uriel just revealed themselves with that color. It just went in a flash in somebody's backyard when I was driving by. I was like, "Whoa!"
whoa.
Hey, I mean,
Wow.
That's how he. That's how they. Not he. That's how they revealed themselves
Mhm,
to me, and I was like, "Holy moly!" And
wow.
then from then on there, I just kept, your guardian, your name of your guardian angel, I call upon. I'm ready to know and mine came too, just as
Yeah.
about 30 or 40 minutes later, I forgot. I was in the in the bathroom doing my hair, got out of the shower, doing my hair, and she just came in 3 times, so excited, and told me 3 times the name. And I was like, what? I said, what in the world was just,
Wow.
what was that?
That
And
is
they're like,
wow.
oh my God. I'm like, oh my God, it's you. Oh wow. And then from then on, that's what I'm saying. When you
Wow.
test it and you try it and you go through those modalities
Yeah.
like that, and it's like, who do you tell? Nobody. That's between you and source and the realm that you're in, right? Because they're gonna,
Yeah.
I don't care now. I'm out here saying it now because it is what it is. Then no way, man. That was back in 29. Oh, not that was 09. Nobody was really talking about anything like not around me, not where I'm at. But now it's everywhere. We have metaphysical shops everywhere. I got my, my
Yeah.
certified Reiki here through a shaman here. That's literally 3 blocks from my house. You know what I mean? And I did it on the 1111. I did it. I did the 1111
Wow.
gate. That's when I got certified for, yes, with a one of my best friends, literally, that was in the Army, just retired out of the Army for 30 something years. Yes. So yeah, and we both did it together, and we just did it for that weekend, and I haven't looked back. So with that, guys, being said, we are literally going to wrap this up because it has been an hour and 40 minutes now, but literally it was so divinely it just was so divinely guided, divinely to do it. And we've been trying to do it for 3 weeks, but today was the day, and it literally was divinely guided because right before we started, it was 3:3, right? It was 3 weeks, and then we started at 3:33.
Yeah, when we started, it was
time. Yes.
Yeah.
And that was freaking
not
awesome.
intentional whatsoever.
I know, right? It was just so awesome. And I'm going to pull a card for the collective with the Star Dragons before we close for everybody, just to know, you know what I mean? See what Spirit has and what the dragons would like to say surrounding us now for our highest good for the collective.
I'm going to do one while you're doing one.
Okay, that sounds great.
Yeah?
That sounds great. Yes, because it's your angel deck, and that is such a beautiful deck.
Oh, yeah. Tell me when you stop.
Paula. Oh, wow. Right. Destruction. Releasing the anger. Number 16, guys. Look at that fire dragon right there. Like it's literally the alchemical fire, because that's what dragons are. We are too. We're the alchemical fire, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just burning away all of the destruction, and we're releasing what no longer serves us, really. Like, what no longer serves our anger. It doesn't. I mean, yeah, we're going to get angry at times of things, but right? It's like, nah. Burning everything away that just no longer resonates with us anymore. Just let it go. Let it go. This is a whole new beginning, a whole new journey. And yeah, there's no reason to be self-destructive or any of those things. And if you are, you can correct those. Look, I was self-destructive too. I mean, hello, we all have been there. We all still probably are. There's some that are, right? But when you learn from it, grow from it, and then it'll have that inner understanding and everything that's inside of you. You were born here with all your spiritual abilities and all your gifts. Each and every one of us are. We just need to tap into them if you choose to. And whatever resonates with you, beautiful souls. Okay. And I thank each and every one of everybody that's been here. And with that, we're going to let Ryan close out with an angel oracle.
Okay. So this card, love appears. This is what it looks like. Just a little someone in a paradise watching light come into them. So love appears, and it says, I renounce my pain and release my resistance. You burn it away with the flames. Today, I choose to reside in the light of my being. I rise up boldly and ask for the understanding that will free me of my duality.
Wow.
And it says, my prayers are heard, and God sends angelic help so that love and peace find their way onto me. When I open my eyes, love appears. So, it's a lot to take away. First, pray to reach out to your angels, burn away the release and burn it away, and everything that's not serving you. It's a very clear message today, for sure.
It really is, right? Doesn't that just tie in, like burn away all your destruction, just release all the anger, release what no longer serves you. It's not doing us no good, nobody no good, and it just causes diseases in our body. It literally does. It blocks it. It causes diseases in that anger, and it does. It really does. And then people wonder why they have these things going on in their life, and it's a lot of it is to do with anxiety and anger, and it's just trying to get into that nervous system. And that's why we have Ryan. to regulate
That's why
our
we have
nervous
Raven.
system. Well, that's why we got Ryan
Raven.
too, though, right?
Hey, I am you just as much as you are me.
I know, right? A la Kosh, a la Kin, right? Exactly. That part. Oh my gosh, this has just been such a great, enlightening conversation, a lightning freaking podcast. And I am just so grateful for Ryan, for you even being on my podcast, for showing up and being my guest. I'm so humbled and I'm just beyond grateful. And you will definitely be, Ryan will be back. That's for sure. That's for sure. We will be having more discussions about this. Not to mention, there's going to be a lot of more galactic things that's going to be discussed too between me and Ryan, and that we're going to be bringing to the stage. And, also to TikTok as well. Raven's over on TikTok. I do lives every day. My link's in my bio. Feel free to stop by if you guys would like to stop and hang out for a little while. I have lots of fun on there. I'm meeting beautiful, wonderful souls. One of them's in my chat right now as we speak, and her name's Bella, and she's beautiful and she's miraculous, and I'm just very grateful for her to even being here and tuning in. She is. And there's so much out here to explore, so many adventures to embark upon, and it's just so exciting, and I'm looking so forward to it, Ryan. And with that, I'll close, everybody, and everybody have a great weekend and a great rest of your week when you start, and namaste and leviste. Until then, bye now.